It's bad. You see, guys, you have to understand this. Let me even close up. You see, it began with this. I say, wait, it began with this. My very first football memory was the '94 World Cup. That's my very first football memory. Like, I remember a little bit about our Flying Eagles, which is like our younger Nigerian team playing in the under-20 World Cup. I believe that was in '93, but just vague memories. But my first crystal, real succinct memory of football was the '94 World Cup. Nigeria's first World Cup, Hristo Stoichkov, Henrik Larsson, Kenneth Anderson, Martin Dahlin, Baggio, Haji, Owaran, Batistuta, all those names, Maradona. But that Brazil team and Romario, bro. Because I remember even when I was young, living in Nigeria, I used to just go around the house just saying all of their names. I just say Romario, Bebeto, Mazinho, Cafu, all that kind of stuff. Because that was just because they were such an iconic team and he was such an iconic player. So my introduction of football in a crystallized version was Brazil in that '94 World Cup. And we've seen '98, '02, Dino, all those kind of guys. From all of that to this. You see, when you said Brazil, the first thing you thought of when you said Brazil was the football team. That was why he was such a big deal. That's why he was a national treasure. Because you say Brazil. Back in the day, when you said Brazil, the first thing you thought of was the football team. One of the most iconic sporting jerseys is the number 10 Brazil jersey. That's why Pele is such a big deal, because Pele single-handedly popularized football. Pele single-handedly helped to make the world think about Brazil and football synonymously. That's what Pele did. That's when you think of football, you think Brazil. Because they represented the beauty of the game. Of course, there is no right way of playing. And the beauty about football is there are many different ways of playing football. But what was agreed upon, that everybody agreed that, yes, we have a philosophy, the way these guys play, like that's a 1970 team. We also, what they did, agreed the greatest football team of all time. From that to this, guys, I've been watching football since 1994. This is the worst Brazil team I've ever seen. Since 1994, this is by far the worst Brazil team I've ever seen. And it is sad. It's sad. As a passionate, bro, actually, I've been obsessed about football since I was single digits. Bro, my mom used to tell me a story where this 6-7-year-old would talk about football tactics, football formations, and football stuff to the guy that was helping me to drive to school and everything. And the guy would be like, yo, I think there's something wrong with your child. I think there's something wrong with your child. I'm not taking your child to nursery. And this guy is talking about football, the tactics and everything, because that's how psycho I was about football. Since I've been watching football, bro, it's deep. It's deep. So, Brazil are trash. They are garbage. They stink. They are awful. These guys, they stink. They're trash. They're complete and utter garbage. And they're a disgrace to the jersey. They're a disgrace to the jersey. He might be the best performer, and I want to try and be very nice and kind when I say this. Brazil are going nowhere with Rodrygo as the best player. They're not. Rodrygo is a really good player. He's a really talented player, and yes, I do believe that he was snubbed and should be on a 30-man Ballon d'Or list, 100%. But Rodrygo being the best player for Brazil is shameful. I want to be nice here. I want to be really nice here. But if Rodrygo is Brazil's best player, that is sad. That's terrible. And that is wrong. And no, I do not go back on the comments I made. Rodrygo wearing the iconic number 10 jersey for Brazil goes to show how far they've fallen. I'm sorry. That is a huge drop-off from the likes of a Ronaldo, the likes of a Dino, the likes of a Neymar, the likes of a Pele, the likes of a Zico, to Rodrygo wearing that. It is one of the most iconic sports jerseys. Forget football. One of the most iconic sports jerseys in the world is that yellow number 10 Brazil jersey. It's the heaviest sporting jersey. I don't care when it starts. That number 10 Brazil jersey is the heaviest shirt in sports. Forget football, in sports. And you give it to Rodrygo, it's a fall off. It's a drop off. If you don't like that, it is what it is. I'm here to speak facts. This is going to be the most facts video you've ever seen. I mean, see, I'm not here to mince words. I'm not here to be like, well, but it's a bit of both, but maybe this, a bit of... No. I'm here to be a Sith. This video, I'm here to be a Sith. I'm dealing in absolutes. Rodrygo wearing the number 10 jersey, that's a disgrace to the number 10 jersey. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an insult to the number 10 jersey. It's an insult to Pele's legacy. It's an insult. But he did score the winning goal against Ecuador. He did. But there's only so much you can get out of Rodrygo because there's another guy who we know he will deliver. And we'll get there. Why is this the home of football analysis? Because I tell the truth. You see, guys, I'm not a cheerleader. I'm not I have to protect a guy. Guys, I've inducted Eden Hazard. Ronaldo, this guy behind me here, he still owes me £5 because I put a bet on him to be top scorer in the 06 World Cup and he turned up overweight. This is my GOAT. This is my idol. He owes me £5 because he turned up overweight at the 06 World Cup when I put £5 on him to be top scorer. So, guys, I keep it a stack. I keep it a thou. Even the people who I love and I idolize, I'll still abuse them. I will still insult them because that's just me. I'm not one of those guys where, oh my gosh, if this is my guy, I must defend him and find ways to defend him. No. The footballing truth is more important than anything. Footballing truth is more important to any kind of tribal allegiance I have to any player. Vini has been garbage for Brazil. He's been garbage. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anything about the manager, the tactics, the players, the situation, the game being slow and the game being fast in Europe. I don't want to hear that crap. For a player of your level, it's been a disgrace. I'm going to go one step further. I feel uncomfortable with the Ballon d'Or being given to Vini. You see, I'm one of those guys. Do what you do want for your club. Do it. The most important thing is how you perform for your country. Davos Suke didn't need to win that World Cup in 98. The fact he ended up being top scorer and helped Croatia come third at that World Cup, that's enough. Forlan didn't need to win that World Cup. Being player of the tournament, that's enough. James Rodriguez, he didn't need to win that World Cup. Doing what she did and what she continued to do in a Colombia jersey, that's enough. Vini, I'm sorry. You see, Vini, if you've played well, you've done what you've done and the team flops, then we're having a different convo. But you're underperforming. Don't blame the team. Don't blame the players. You're underperforming. Because what we're not going to do is focus on one and ignore the other. See, if this was a year in which there was no international tournaments, okay, boom, Vini, simple as that. But there was one. And I'm one of those guys where it's about the two flex. I'm sorry, it's about the two flex. Because what we're not going to do is ignore international and just focus on club because that's the stuff that's most popular and that's the stuff that we watch the most. No. So Real Madrid fans, I'm sorry, we have to keep it a stack here. He is the best player in the world when he puts on the Madrid jersey. 100%. But when he puts on the Brazil jersey, he sells fruit. He sells fruit. And I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. You can't have a Ballon d'Or winner who is this garbage, not only for his country, for Brazil. It's one thing just being bad for your country, that's one thing. But to be one of the top stars in the world and to perform this badly for Brazil, that's unacceptable. So for me, I feel uncomfortable giving him that Ballon d'Or. Which is why, for me, I'm endorsing Lautaro Martinez. Because I think the rightful winner of that award is Lautaro Martinez. Because that is a guy who, because the only blemish is the UCL. But when you weigh up things, he has the best tooth legs. I've already said that I can't give it to Rodrygo because that's a very good Spain team where 4 players were better than him. Lautaro Martinez went to a Copa America where he was on the bench. In a Copa America that their superstar Messi underperformed. The other striker, Alvarez, wasn't great. Ended up top scorer and scored the winning goal when their superstar was on the bench, that being Messi. That's what Lautaro Martinez did. Lautaro Martinez has a much stronger case to win the Ballon d'Or over Vini. But I get it. It's the UCL, it's Europe, it's Real Madrid, it's Pierre, I get it. In a rightful world where all things are right, Lautaro Martinez should be the Ballon d'Or winner. Based on what he did for Inter Milan and what he did for Argentina. That's a two flex. Because club matters, international matters. They both matter. And if we're going to keep it fully real, internationals matter more than club. If we want to be truly fully real. But that's my take. Vini, embarrassing. Disgraceful. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any. I don't want to hear anything about the manager. I don't want to hear anything about the players. I don't want to hear any of that crap. Figure it out. Because, guys, remember, I'm one of those guys that I like to keep the same energy. I may keep the same energy merchants. We all did it. We all did it. We clowned Messi. We abused Messi. We insulted him that, how are you so extraterrestrial for Barca, but you sell fruits, you become Casper the Ghost, and you hide for Argentina? And we insulted him for it. We abused him for it. Like, at no point, maybe apart from a few or 2 games, did we ever see that supernatural Messi that we saw for Barca for Argentina. Even in the 2014 World Cup where he was a bit better, that wasn't the same guy we saw for Barca. So rightfully he was maligned, and he was maligned so much, he was dealing with so much pressure, he retired. He said, no, I can't deal with this. He retired. And we insult him for it, we abuse him for it. So we have to keep the same energy. If you are a leader, you're not a Timo Werner, you're not a Neon, you are a leader in your field, you're one of the best players in the world, that comes with the same level of criticism. You want to be top dog? We criticize you like the top dog. We hold you to the insane standards of being top dog. You have to deal with the intense pressure of being top dog. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. Those are just the rules. So Messi, he had to deal with the abuse, deal with the insults, deal with people saying that, like, man, you're a loser, you can't, blah, blah, blah. All the abuse he had to deal with. He had to take it upon. And he knew that I've got to figure this out. These Ballon d'Ors don't mean anything. They don't mean nothing. The uses, but they don't mean nothing. I have to figure this out. And he did. He did. Like that goal against Mexico, that was the turning point. Where I was like, no, it's about get, and the key word here is adaptation. Because what Messi realized is, screw all that tactics, screw all that tiki-taka, screw all that Barca want to give and go. No. It's about gid. Internationals, which is why I love internationals so much, which is why I think it's more important than club. Because at internationals, it's hard. It's difficult. The game is different. So Messi just put a switch in his brain and realized that, okay, no. It's not about formations, tactics, the right manager, the right flow. No, it's about gid. Give me the ball. I'm going to make something happen. Whatever situation it is, even if it's not ideal, just give me the ball, gid. And another work of what just from Messi is, just give me the ball. Guys, just give me the ball and I will execute. That's what it's about. So so Messi knew that There are no excuses. If you don't get it done, you don't get it done. No one will say, well, you've got to get it done. Because I told you, I was not one of those guys that said, well, this Sampaoli, the manager, I don't care. Get it done. And Messi realized that, or I have a bet, I'm going to get it done. So I'm sorry, Vini. Your feet have to be held to the fire. And which comes to homeboy. Guys, I'm going to make a statement. Because in this whole Brazil thing, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I've been sitting down saying, Hope, you've got to keep it a stack now. You've got to keep it real. And I've been doing a lot of thinking. Neymar is the greatest floor raiser of his generation. More than Cristiano. More than Messi. Hazard. Paul. All the names, all the guys of his generation, Neymar is the greatest floor raiser of his generation. In terms of what this guy can do as an individual with a trash team, wow. We're still waiting for Cristiano to score a World Cup knockout goal. And we know what Ede did in that final. Messi, yes, he won the World Cup. That's a very good Argentina team. So he had to wait. And the beauty of his longevity was he was able to play long enough until a really good Argentina team came that he could help to amplify. Hence how they won the Copa America without him. Neymar doesn't have that luxury. He simply doesn't. So what Neymar has been able to do with the worst Brazil team since 1994 has to be admired. Neymar starts in pretty much any of these other Brazil teams. Facts, 100%. At the very least, he's on the bench. But in most of those teams, the 98 team, the 02 team, the 94 team, he starts. Least he's on the bench. Because the key thing about Neymar is, I saw it, we're doing a lot of thinking. That 2014 World Cup, guys, do you remember what that guy was doing in his first World Cup? We saw how trash the team was. 7-1. Because 7-1 was just about to approach. So we know how useless that team was and how useless Scolari was. But do you remember what this guy was doing before Zuniga drove his knee through his soul? This guy, that's his floor raising. Because this guy was like, just give me that ball. I am making something happen. It was... I think it would have been one of the most good performances at the World Cup because they would have always lost to Germany. Let's be real. They would have always lost. In an alternative world, I'd have loved to watch that game. I'd have loved to watch that Brazil game with a fit Thiago Silva, a fit Neymar. They lose. But I would have loved to see what Neymar would have done in that game. Because what he was doing, because it's a psychological thing. The thing about being a floor raiser, think about being that dude, not that dude, that dude. You see, there's that dude, then there's that dude. The thing about being that dude is about ability, 100%. It's about psychology. It's about character. It's about who are you? So those dudes, it's about who are you? Forget about football. Who are you as a person? What do you have for breakfast? What do you have for lunch? What do you have for dinner? Neymar's psychology, because he's got a huge ego, because he has no fear, he understands the assignments. Which is why this team needs him. You put Neymar on this bum-ass team, they're automatically better. He amplifies the entire team. 100%. So it is just so unfortunate that Neymar is in a team that is so bad. But Wikipedia is harsh. Wikipedia is harsh. Because at the end of the day, Wikipedia will say he didn't win a Copa America or a World Cup as a Brazil player. Which is harsh, but it is what it is. See, Vini has to realize this. I said again, because this was almost similar to Messi fans. When people saw Messi win the World Cup, I understood the happiness when people saw Messi win the World Cup. I understood of people who were so close to him, seeing him go through so much trial and tribulation and seeing him finally win that World Cup and finally show good finally show grit. We know he has all the ability in the world. One of the most talented players, but did he have that grit? And that was the happiness of seeing him just through the trials, tribulations, the failures, the heartbreak, the tears, finally get it done. That was like me with Ronaldo. I remember exactly where I was in that 98 World Cup final. I remember how I was feeling. It was like seeing a family member like fall to pieces. I remember sitting in my house in Nigeria watching that 98 World Cup final and just watching the referee blow the whistle. And I was like, because you have to understand, which is why it's hard to explain for people who are young, is like, Ronaldo was like a superhero. It was like you were watching Superman, you were watching a superhero. So to see like your superhero not show his superpowers, I was confused. Like, wait, but it's Ronaldo. He's superhuman. He's a superhero. This is the guy. This is the superhuman dude. So I was confused. And then to think that, oh my God, so he's never going to happen. And then the injury, you're like, oh wow. And then to see what he did in O2, where Ronaldo knew that he didn't have the ability. The explosiveness was gone. The speed was gone. The energetic, sharp movements was gone. Like that superhuman strength was gone. But what he lost in superhuman strength, he gained it on superhuman ability. He never lost the psychology, the character. Hence why it's about who are you. And Arnold knew that I'm not going to win this World Cup via purely just my insane ability. I've lost that. But I still have this thing in my chest called the heart of a lion. The winning goal in the semi-final and both goals in the final. I remember watching that final and call me crazy. Maybe this shows that maybe I need to do some better stuff in my life. Generally one of the happiest days of my life was watching him lift up that trophy. Just seeing that, he did it. One of the happy days of my life. Hence why I can now understand how people feel about when they saw Messi lift the World Cup. See Ronaldo just score those 2 goals and make that comeback when I thought he was done. One of the happiest days of my life. That's what it is about. That's what Ronaldo did. That's what Messi did. And that is what, Vini, you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. So, first 6 go through automatically. Remember, this is a 3,000 team World Cup. The first 6 go through. Go through. And then 7th is a playoff, which I believe might be against CAF. Shout out to your boy Adaj. I think 7th place, you play a CAF team, which is the African team. Brazil go to the World Cup. But this is bad. This is bad. Like, this is bad. This ain't good. This is not good. The fact that Brazil have lost 4 times. But I think the maximum amount of time Brazil may lose in a qualification is maybe 2, at most 3. They've already lost 4 times, and I think they need to play Colombia and Argentina again. So that could end up being 5, 6, or 7. But the fact they're even in this position is frightening. It's frightening. I mean, shout out to Chile. What a fall off. It just shows that rolling out to Bosajo, Valdivia, Alexis Sanchez, Vargas, and all those dudes 3 billion times, I think it's now wearing thin now. I think it's time for Sanchez and that crew who have been playing since the 40s to actually rest. But Brazil, they're on the same number of points as Venezuela. They're only a point ahead of the oxygen merchants, Bolivia. They're on the same number of points as Venezuela. And only a point ahead of both Paraguay and Bolivia. And these are their next games, man. And you would expect them to go. So Chile, who have been trashed, they play them, but that's away. So they're playing the 2 worst teams next, Chile and Peru. But then remember, Venezuela drew against them, which is where Neymar was getting angry. And that was in Brazil. Now they have to go to Venezuela away. And then the same number of points as Venezuela. Then that's where it gets hard for them, because then you have Uruguay, Colombia, Argentina, Ecuador away. So they have to win those 2 games. Those 2 games, so in the next international break, those are must wins. Like, they have to win those 2 games against Chile and Peru. Like, look, they're going to go through. They're going to go through. But it just shows the very fact that we're even contemplating whether they can get in the top 7 is scary. Brazil should be fighting for the first place. And also, please don't, people will say, oh, this is similar to like the O2 World Cup where I think they came 4th or 3rd at the for the O2 World Cup qualification. Just fighting for 3rd and 4th is very different when you're 5th, 6th, 7th in that position. And no matter how much they struggled in that qualification, that was a much better team than these fruit sellers, you know. So I don't know what to say, bro. Guys, scan the QR code to join the Discord, man. I mean, it's basically, it's sad. It's sad, but I say to myself that Brazil not winning the World Cup anytime soon. How long will it take for Brazil to recover? Do Brazil need to wait for a Endrick or Esteval? And how do you know whether Endrick and Esteval? Because are we saying that Vini and Rodrygo, they'll never figure it out? So we now have to wait for the newer generation, which is Esteval and Endrick, to come through. And hoping that Esteval and Endrick can really be the guys to lead these guys forward. Is that what we're relying upon? You know, but I do feel that the fall of football and people questioning how football is boring, it's not as exciting, the games are not as exciting anymore, it's very robotic, it's very predictable. I think those complaints are coinciding with Brazil being trash. Because for so long, you always had Brazil is there. You always had them being there. But the fact that Brazil's premier players, with Neymar being injured, are Vini and Rodrygo, who are not fit enough to be in the same stratosphere as a Rivaldo, Ronaldo. Vini and Rodrygo are not as good as Denilson. So forget those top guys. I'm not putting Vini and Rodrygo in the same conversation as Denilson. And Denilson was a side chick in 98. I am not putting Vini and Rodrygo in the same sentence as Denilson. Heck, I'm not putting them in the same competition as Jalmania. Go watch his highlights for Deportivo La Coruña. I'm not putting them in the same convo as Jalmania. So, as I said again, I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any, no. We insulted Messi. We abused Messi. He had to figure it out. And he figured it out. So for you guys, we're keeping the same energy. If you want to be seen as a top-tier player, because this is the simple deal. Vini, if you want to be a top-tier player, that's how we criticize you. If you don't want to be a top-tier player, oh, that's fine. Choose. Top-tier player, criticism. And we hold you to those insane high standards. It is what it is, man. Think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.